today. Talks a little bit about that. But the way I'm gonna start this is I'm gonna give my guy, Mr. Chris London, a call back. I need to call him. So I'm about to call my guy, Chris London, the dude who got in a motorcycle accident.
Hello.
What's going on, Mr. London? It's Chubb.
Okay, Chubb. Let me clear the other line. I got my sister on there.
All right, well, just let me know once you're ready, because if you want to have this conversation, man, I'm ready to give it to you.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Let me flash over.
All right. So, yeah, I'm about to go live. What's good, my G? My guy, Turo. I'm about to actually have a real deep conversation about what I experienced on the other side, because he's been asking me about it since we met. So I'm going to go ahead and tell him about everything I saw.
Bro.
What's good, boy?
How's it going?
I'm all right. Yourself?
Getting ready for that surgery tomorrow. Ain't no getting ready. Just waiting for the time to come by.
Right. So they about to readjust your wrist, or they doing your arm too?
Yeah, they going in the wrist. They ain't doing nothing to the shoulder.
Okay.
To tell the truth, I've been laying up here. My left arm, about in 1982, that's about 43 years ago. I had broke it, and I feel it every time I try to rotate my wrist. It's like that metal in there is catching against my muscle. Well, we'll deal with that later.
Right.
Do some follow-ups.
Yeah, I'm healing too, having my own little screws taken out of my legs, but I'm finally getting to a point.
Taken out. That's 18 years later.
18 years. 18 years.
Good God Almighty.
Titanium screws out of my left bicep, out of my shoulder, and out of both, behind both legs, coming out of the femur bones. Yeah. So still pushing through that regardless. But yeah, like, I'm going to tell you now why when I came back, it was a little bit easier for me to push through that, right? So, like, the way it started was this. The motorcycle accident happened, like I said, May 8th, 2007. I'm sitting there coughing up blood, and I remember the last thing I remember blacking out, it was just like talking to one of the dudes who was like, yo, man, stay right there. The ambulance on the way. And I'm like, bro, where am I going, bro? I know I'm hurt.
Right.
I know I'm tore up, bro. Right, bro. Like, my bone's sticking out my leg. I'm coughing up blood, bro. I'm not moving at all. So he was like, yeah, just stay there. And that was the last thing I remember for blacking out. Now, this is how it started. Before I realized what was going on, it was like I was trying to go home. Like any other regular night, I'm on the motorcycle, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to ride off, and as I'm trying to ride off, I'm like, all right, I'm on my bike. I'm going down Old Orangeburg Road. People in Somerville, they know this area. They know what I'm talking about. And I was like, I'm on a Kawasaki ZX-9R, and I'm just cruising. And as I'm cruising, I remember like turning by my old neighborhood and turning by the gas station and turning into the complex and turning it. Everything just felt like real. But at the same time, it also felt like something was off. Like things just didn't seem well saturated. Like the color in the world around me just had seemed kind of dull. Right? That's the only way I can really describe it. But it was like when I pull into my apartment complex, it was like now I'm trying to figure out what's going on because there's no cars. There's like no cars in the complex. And I was like, that's weird. So then I pulled into the little breezeway where I usually put my motorcycle under my stairs. Because at that time I used to live in this little apartment complex and still don't trust people. But I would make sure I put my bike right up under the staircase by my front door. So what I did is I did my whole little process, putting the bike under the door, and I tried to open the door, and it was like the knob wouldn't open. And I was like, why I can't open my door? And then next thing I know, I start hearing noise. And this noise started getting real, like, weird sounding. And then the more I'm listening to this noise, it started to sound like blades. And it started to sound like, you know what I'm saying, like just some horrific type things happening. And then I remember leaving from my breezeway and looking into the complex, and I see like the dumpsters are gone that's usually there, and like the gates are open. And I'm like, they don't never move those dumpsters in that complex. Like, they always there. Why they gone now? So I'm like, okay. So I start walking across to where the gates was open, and then I kept hearing the noise getting louder. Then there was like this old Food Lion shopping center right across from my complex, and I remember trying to walk behind there. Now usually there's a neighborhood back there. For some reason, when I start looking back there, I start to see this light. It was like a ruby red glow, like almost like this type of, like the blood red. And I'm seeing the light come from the woods. And as I'm walking in the woods, I remember looking down. I see this big hole in the ground. And I'm like, what in the world? And when I look down, I lie to you not, the first thing I see is people being torn apart, put back together, torn apart again. I seen people being treated as pets by these big creatures that look like demons. And I'm seeing people being like just ripped and cut and just screamed like you would never, like just agony pain. And I'm looking down like, what is this? And then something looked up and saw me, and it was just this screech, and it just made this loud, like horn-like noise. And I was like, uh-oh, time to go. And I turned around and started running. And then I remember trying to go back to my apartment, and I stopped. And I was like, man, I ain't got my pistol. My baby mama there pregnant with my son. I can't take all this drama over there. I don't even know what this is chasing me. So I started running down the road. So next thing I know, I'm running down the road. I remember jumping in this ditch right on the side of Old Orangeburg Road. And then I started hearing this vehicle. The vehicle sounded like it had like blades for tires. And all you could hear, ting, 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 like at a very like fast pace.
Like it had a push more blades.
Right, right. But it's on the road, and it's like, ring. Right, just ringing. And I can hear it coming. So I just jump in the ditch. And then I realized that this vehicle got its own like ruby red glow too. So when it rolled past me, I could see the light off the vehicle. And I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm just trying to hold still till this thing passes by. And then once it passes by, hopefully I didn't interrupt nothing. I had a phone call just now. But like after it goes over the hill, I remember it going down the hill, and I saw the ruby red light go over the hill too. And I'm like, man, what in the world? Like, what's going on? And then I remember seeing this omniscient off-white trailer like off to my left. And I see this trailer, it's got like this white glow to it. And I'm like, yo, like, I don't think I remember seeing this little trailer before. But it just felt safe. So I walked up to the side of the trailer, and I'm like, I just walk in. And I'm like, okay. I looking around, and I see this old Cuban couple sitting down right as soon as you walk in the door. They watching the old school fatback TV that's on the floor model. And I'm looking at them, they look at me, and then they go back to watching TV. And I'm like, okay. So,
like you ain't even there.
like I'm not there, like okay, you in here now? All right, whatever. So they just go back to doing what they was doing. So then I look off to the left, and I remember seeing this white guy with a ponytail. He just looked like he was just chilling over there smoking a cigarette. And he look up at me. I look at him. He go back to smoking a cigarette. And I just remember him like white t-shirt, like these little like baby blue denim jeans. He got a ponytail like a blonde guy smoking a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? I just remember seeing him in the corner just doing that. And then I cut the corner of this little single wide trailer. And when I cut the corner, I see this black girl. She's in the mirror. She doing the makeup. I look at her. She look at me. She go back to doing the makeup. And I'm like, man, what's going on? So I walk to the back of this single wide trailer, and I see like a mattress on the floor next to a table and a lamp. So I sit on the mattress, and I'm like, bruh, what is going on right now? Like, what was that was chasing me? Right, because I'm lost. I don't know what's happening. Like I ain't never see this hole in the ground where they got creatures and stuff. That looked like hell. Like that looked like hell, bruh. And I'm like how? But why am I looking down at that right now, bruh? We not supposed to have access to that. That's what's going through my mind. And then after that, as I'm sitting there having all this conversation with myself, the things came back. It came back to the trailer. Next thing I know, I just hear this blood. Like it sounded like this loud horn, like screech that just was starting to rumble the whole building. Next thing I know, the whole single wide trailer started to rock, and then it rolled 2 times, and boom, boom. On the third time, the third tumble, it just collapsed on itself, boom. And I just remember being inside this trailer looking up, and I seen this big shadow dart. And when I see this hovering type shadow monster looking down on me, and I'm looking up in all of this rubble, and it's about to get me out of nowhere, it's like the light just came out, and it just went away, just turned into smoke. And I was like, what was that? And then next thing I know, I'm in a different scene. Like, now I'm strapped to the hospital bed, and I remember talking, I don't know, somebody calling, they can leave a message. I remember talking to my baby mother who was in the hospital with me, talking to me, and she was like, what's wrong, what's wrong? And I remember telling her, like, yo, I can see black stuff coming out their eyes, and I can see black stuff coming out their mouth, and they trying to give me pills. And she was like, what? I was like, bro, they trying to kill me. Like, I can see them. And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you don't see that? Like, I can see them. Like, and I just remember seeing these stuff. And these the nurses. These was the nurses. And I'm like, maybe these are real demons, but I'm not their mission today. They just doing regular jobs until they called upon. And I'm like, what am I seeing right now? Like,
man, you was looking in the spiritual realm.
I was in both sides.
You was at death door. You was at the divide.
Yeah, bro. Like, I was being able to see through the veil on both sides. And I'm like, yo, like, and I'm talking to her until finally they had to kind of like put me under just to kind of give me the pills that they were trying to give me, because I had so many blood transfusions on top of myself. You know what I'm saying? So they had to make sure like the blood don't turn into poison on me with all of the different transfusions. But I remember that moment. And then like after that moment happened, it was these other moments started, right? But before any of these other moments started, it was the big moment. And I feel like the big moment was when I was standing outside, and it was like I saw green grass at my feet. And as I'm seeing this green grass at my feet, I remember looking up. And when I start to look up, I see a tree line off in the distance. But it's like, it's sunny outside, like it's bright outside, right? But then I start to look up, and there is no sun. I don't see a sun. I see galaxies, stars, nebula. It looked like something from a Marvel movie above me. And all I'm seeing is like cosmic type stuff happening.
In the cosmos.
Yes, and I'm seeing this, right? And then I remember looking down, and I see this big tree next to me. Giant tree. And then the tree got like this giant motherboard wrapped all around it. And I actually sat down with a digital 3D artist back in like 2022, and we made a visual of what I saw, and I'm gonna share it later today. But like, I remember seeing this tree, and when I saw the tree with the motherboard, I said, yo, this looked like something out of Star Wars. And he said, where you think they got it from? And I said, oh, snap. I said, I know who that is. I was like, I know who that is. He know who I am. Like, okay, we know each other. I know who you are, bro. You that Jesus fella. You Yeshua. Like, that's you. Okay, what's up? You know what I'm saying? We start talking. You know what I'm saying? And as we talking, like I said, he started showing me stuff. And now since, like, time has kind of gave a lot of this stuff back to me, like, he started showing me in different lifetimes. Like, I started experiencing the multiverse before I even knew what it really was. Because I started seeing the multiverse. like I started experiencing myself in different forms, right?
Okay.
So there was a version of me as a kid. I remember these different versions where, you know, somebody be like, oh, I'm going to be a firefighter. Or, oh, I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, bruh, there was a point in time in my life, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be a pilot, okay? Like, I was going to be True Lies, Harrier jet, flying type pilot, F-16, F-18s. Like, I used to have toys, model toys, all of that, bro. You couldn't tell me that wasn't going to be my life, right? But part of the inspiration came from who my mother was dealing with at that time, because he was a vet being in the Army. I was like, I'm not trying to get blown up for nobody. I'd rather be in the sky somewhere. So I want to fly, right? But that was my mindset even as a kid. I remember having a big transformer of Jetstream that was purple and black. You couldn't find it nowhere, but I found it at the flea market. And it was at least like a foot tall. And I used to carry that thing all over the place till somebody felt like they wanted it more than me. But I digress. But at that time, I knew I was going to be that. And then there was another side of me that was a computer genius or a computer tech, super computer tech savvy. Like all of the things that I already kind of dabble in now, there was a version of me that took it on as a career, right?
Okay.
But each one of these versions was in the same timeline. And what I mean by the same type of timeline where I'm 20 years old, I got the same stepdaughter, I got the same baby mama, the same unborn son, and I keep getting this gut feeling that if I'm not there for that little boy, ain't nobody gonna do right by that little boy. And then next thing I know, I'm somewhere else. It's another version of me, whether I'm a pilot or I'm in 2024 Tokyo somewhere. And I remember that I was living in like a mega city out in the water where it's like people walk down into the houses. I remember seeing the fishes swimming around my house. And I had the same unborn son, same baby mama, same stepdaughter, but different time frames. And I'm like, okay. And it was the same gut feeling. If I'm not there for that little boy, ain't nobody gonna do right by that little boy. And I was like, man, what is all of this about? And I just kept having these different versions of me. I still remember there was a version of me that was already a rapper and had a crazy car accident. And for some reason, I had half of my cars in front of the hospital. And I remember telling one of my cousins, hey, man, make sure you turn off my PT Cruiser on my PT Prowler, not a PT Cruiser. It was a PT Prowler outside. And I had a C300 on some 24s. I remember I had a T-Rex outside. And I think I kind of remember some of the colors of some of them vehicles too. But for the most part, it was a different version of me. And I had a body brace on. And I remember the body brace had the record label embedded into the body brace. And I was like, yeah, like, bro, like I was living that time. Because now there was Chubb raps, right? So it was all these different versions of me that I was already like full blown into that mode in each one of those lifetimes, right? But once again, I kept getting that gut feeling that if I'm not there for that little boy on the way, ain't nobody gonna do right by that little boy like you gotta do right by him. So whether you believe it or not, you got a fight ahead of you. And I didn't understand until it started happening. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said before, like when I first woke up in the hospital, I had no knowledge of how I got there. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what happened. I just remember waking up, seeing my name on a TV. And that's when I remember coming back and I started hearing the ringing in my ears, that loud wee. I remember hearing that, and I remember starting to open my eyes, and I remember looking at the TV, and I saw my name on the TV because it had my birthday beneath it.
What was that noise?
It was like, it was almost like a high-pitched ringing. You know, like sometimes people feel like they hear spirits or whatever, they hear that high-pitched ringing. I heard the high-pitched ringing first, but before the high-pitched ringing, because there were other parts that happened when I was still like on the other side of the veil that I haven't shared yet. But right before I came back, there was a moment that I was on this river. And I remember being on my back. And it was almost like I was on bamboo sticks. And I could see like high grass and bamboo type style houses around me. And I could feel other spirits all around me. And I remember just being like on this river floating backwards. And as I'm floating backwards, it's like I can't move my head. I can't move my body. I just know I'm me, and I'm on this water.
Yeah, you got the conscious mind and eyes and ears.
Yeah, that's it. I can hear the water. My eyes are looking straight up, and I can feel spirits around me. I can feel people around me, not spirit. It feel like people around me. And as I'm feeling these people, I remember washing up on the shore. And when I washed up on the shore, I see like this bamboo, like maybe 2-story tall bamboo style house above me. And then after that, everything kind of started to go black. And then once it goes black, I start hearing the ringing. That wing. Then after that, that's when I start to open my eyes. Because then I start hearing background noise. I start hearing people talking. And then I hear my mama and whoever else around me starting to talk. And that's what I'm like. I open my eyes and I just remember seeing my name on the TV. And the way I knew it was my name is because my birthday was beneath it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a blue screen with gold writing that said my name and my birthday beneath it. And I'm like, why my name on the TV? And like, that's the moment I came back. But like all of the other stuff that I experienced, like we didn't even get to the part of me being in like this futuristic type hospital. I don't know, like it was like after all of these different moments had happened where Jesus was talking to me at the Tree of Life, Yeshua, whatever you want to know him as he was talking to me, we came back and he said, you ain't done yet. And next thing I know, I'm somewhere else. But at that time, it was like I was being transported from like one hospital building to another hospital building. And I cannot make this up. It was like I was on this zip line that had like a futuristic style hospital bed that was flying through the air. And it was like I'm in the clouds. And I remember looking down and I could see that the buildings actually went further down and also further up. But I'm in the middle. And I'm like, what is all of this around me? And it was like zip lines, woo, 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 back and forth real fast between the buildings. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like on some iRobot type, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Trying to move in fluidity of technology. And then I remember like being zipped into this hospital room. And then my bed just kind of like put me down. And the little zip line thing went elsewhere. And then when the zip line thing went elsewhere, it was like this nurse, she just walking in being all casual. And she had like this see-through looking tablet. And she's looking at the tablet. She see my name and stuff. And she just chewing gum looking at me. Okay, you checked in. And she just turned around and walk out. And I'm like, okay. And then I remember looking up in the ceiling. And you know how like some hospitals got like those tile ceilings where you can like push the tiles and move them out the way?
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Panels.
Yeah, them panels, right? Some of the panels were slid off to the side a little bit. And I remember a rat with glowing red eyes looking down at me. And I'm like, what? Why does this rat have glowing red eyes? Right? And I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, I'm in this hospital where there's a holographic TV on the wall, but there's a glowing eye rat in the ceiling. Like, what is happening right now, man?
That was them demons that didn't get access to you.
Might have been. I'm just telling you what.
Got their eyes on you, though.
Man, listen, I'm just telling you what I experienced or what I saw. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man.
Because it was crazy and how it always like stacked up.
As you go.
Right, you know? And you might shed some light on some things that I saw some of the things I experienced. But like I could go into so much more detail into some of those like lifetimes. And I'm talking about I could see, smell, hear, taste. Like I still remember walking down the street in in one of the lifetimes, a drone. Remember, this is 2007 when this accident happened. There was a drone in one of these lifetimes that scanned my face and went elsewhere before I went home. We just starting to get to that level of drone capability out here. You know what I'm saying? And then like when I came back after all of this comatose experience and all of that, I ended up watching a movie with Jet Li and Jason Statham called The One. Man, when the first thing come on, it was like there's not one universe, it's a multiverse. And when he said that and he started showing how there's not just one of you, there's many of you. And it started showing like the world spread out, and it's showing all these different versions. Right. And it's showing all these different versions of you went this way, or you went that way, or you went this way, and you went that way. And that's when it clicked. It was like, oh, snap. That's what I saw. That's what I experienced.
Right.
Because
that's the reality of it.
That was the true reality of it. Because it was like, I couldn't really talk to nobody about this back then. Most people think you're crazy. But I really feel like we now have been exposed. Right. You know, because I remember when the accident happened, there was a version of me that was sitting on the edge of the bed, dangling my feet with these bandages wrapped around it. And I remember saying to the lady, she said, so, excuse me, sir, what do you do for a living? I said, I fly airplanes. She was like, excuse me? I said, yeah, I fly airplanes, you know, F-18s, F-16s, you know, that type of stuff. And she was like, okay. And in my mind, I'm fussing with myself. I was like, Chubb, you don't fly no airplanes, boy. You work at Coburg Dairy. You a machine operator, and you got this. When you talk about fly airplanes, and I had to stop. Because I was like, hold up. I got memory. I went to school for this. I really do fly airplanes, whoever this version of me is.
Right.
And I was like, what? Like, how does that make sense? But
right, and your conscious mind, and you thinking this and seeing this.
Right. But at the same time, I'm experiencing something totally different, you know. And I feel like my consciousness was being slapped around between, you know what I'm saying, different vessels. Because all of us might have, I think every one of us had something tragic happen at that moment in time. Whether it was a motorcycle accident or something happening at work or something in the family. But something tragic happened in each one of my lifetimes that made me think about, man, I got to be there for that little boy. I gotta be there for him, you know. And when I came back, I told baby mama, anybody else, man, listen, I know why I'm here, bro. I gotta be there for my little man. And that's where everybody was like, what? Boy, you know you got 2 broken legs, and your back broken, and your arm broken. You know them doctors say you ain't gonna walk for at least 2 years, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't care about none of that. I got a little boy on the way. I can stand up and I can hold my son. The doctor said, okay, well, you have to keep your hopes up, sir. You know, and I'm like, bro, I don't care. They can sit there and think I'm playing, or I got high hopes. I know what I'm about to do, bro. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna hold my child. And lie to you not, man, within 2 months, my son was born. I went through rehab strong enough just to where I was able to stand up in that body brace. They rolled me in there in a wheelchair. And I got up and I held him after he was born, took a picture, and had to sit down and then had to go lay down because it took that much energy out of me just to stand up. You know? So it was like, bro, that part. And in my mind, I feel like if I can accomplish that, I can accomplish anything, bro. Because them doctors told me I wasn't going to walk. I just need to get used to using a wheelchair or a walker. I'm like, bro, the most I'm going to do is be on the cane, bro. Because I know these legs is going to be tore up. But I am not about to be no vegetable out here. And in my mind, my main saying to myself is, hey, bro, my child ain't going to have no vegetable for no daddy. My child ain't going to have no vegetable for no daddy. And that was on repeat in my mind. My child ain't going to have no vegetable for no daddy. That right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be able to stand up and throw a football and teach him how to ride a bike and do the simple things with him, you know. That's how I was feeling in that moment. You know what I'm saying? But once again, I've also had to learn how to shift that same emotion, because if not, I would have been trying to tear myself down, trying to be with something that's now toxic because it's been tainted by so many other people, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, aside from that part of the lifestyle, because the day ain't Sunday, we have those talks on Sunday right now.
But when you was in that spiritual atmosphere, and you were seeing demons, and you saw the blackness coming out of your baby mama's eyes.
No, it wasn't her eyes. It was the nurse eyes. It was the nurse eyes. It was the nurse eye. Right? And the nurse walked in and was trying to give me medicine. And I remember the nurse just looking at the nurse, and I could see it was almost like if you ever see the movie Batman, how they have Bane or Scarecrow. When Scarecrow do that little trick on people that have people looking like Batman, has got like that gooey stuff coming out his mouth or out of his eyes and stuff. That's what I saw.
Yeah, well, everybody working in that position, they ain't saved. They're demons.
Man, listen, I literally just got finished watching the documentary called A Killer Nurse about the nurse who was taking everybody insulin bags, and he over there like trying to like hype everybody up. Like he was doing a whole lot to kill people, claiming he trying to end people's suffering when people was coming back to recovery. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some people be doing some real devious stuff, and even in the medical field,
right,
you know.
In the hospital.
You know.
You had them nurses that been working with the babies, and she was killing babies left and right.
See what I'm saying? That type of stuff. You know, whether they killing babies, stealing babies, you got people just human trafficking. Like it's so much, in the way how people should be taking care of each other, but they trying to take from each other. You know.
You seen through the veil, and God permitted you to see the spiritual, in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
That stuff that was coming out of her, she wasn't right. Her heart wasn't right.
Yeah.
That's what I be saying a lot of times, man. We going to these white doctors, we don't know whether they Ku Klux Klan or what.
Right. And I've seen.
Hiding behind the office.
And listen, I can talk about that too, bro. Like, even coming out of that whole comatose situation and going through rehab, man, I know I had somebody who was, you know what I'm saying, of that type of nature. You know what I'm saying? And you know, me coming from the bike life, you know how people move out here, and they be in all type of walks of life and looking like one thing when in reality they ain't nothing but they're a whoop and shoe clothes, right? You know what I'm saying? So if I'm out here seeing that part of,
hey, you gonna make me play extra hard before I go under tonight.
man, listen, when I'm just telling you what happened, bro. Like, so like for instance, when I've been going through rehab,
$1 million movie shit right here.
Man, listen, and this right here ain't nothing but bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful I was able to document a lot of this craziness so that way I can share my story properly and it ain't just a bunch of hearsay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got moments that I was able to capture and be like, yo, listen, this what really happened. And here's a video to go with it. Or this what really happened. Here's the documentation to go with it. Here's pictures. You know, here's paperwork, you know. But like, with that moment, when I was going through rehab, man, I remember this old Caucasian man. You could tell he was a biker. And, you know, I got a bunch of cool Caucasian bikers. But this one, he did not care, bro. I remember being inside Health South, right over here by Trident Medical. And I'm sitting there trying to get my body together and learning how to use these legs. And it was this one night where I'm like, okay, bro, I need my medicine. And it was like, well, you got to wait 1 more hour. And I'm like, bro, I'm in pain. I've been in pain for the last 2 hours trying to wait for this timetable y'all talk about taking the medicine every 4 to 6 hours. Bro, I'm in extreme pain. I got rods, fresh rods in both legs. I got a bracket and some screws in my back. I got a rod in my arm. And I got to deal with all of this. And by not taking this medicine when y'all say I got to take it type thing. All right, man, whatever. When I tell you, they let me sit there till the next shift came in. They did not give me my medicine until I rolled myself. I almost fell out of my bed. I had to use the little board and slide into the wheelchair. Almost fall. I had to use the little bit of arm strength I had to keep myself in that wheelchair and roll myself to the front desk and cry. I need my meds. I've been asking for my meds for the last 3 hours. Like, I am in pain. I am hurting. Like, what's wrong? Ladies like, oh my God, I'm gonna give it to you right now. I'm so sorry. And they were like, the last shift was supposed to do this for him. Why is he up here now? Oh, that is so slack. And I'm like, wow, bro. Like,
haters.
Come on, bro. You don't even know me. But that's what it is. They don't care if they know you, bro. They don't care.
Right. They don't have no empathy or sympathy.
None.
It's that hatred runs so deep. You black nigga.
Bruh, you hear me? And it's like, I ain't do nothing to you. You don't know me, I don't know you.
You my enemy.
Right.
And the reason you my enemy, because I'm thinking of who I am and been lied to all my days. And you got the God seed in you, and I'm from the other side. I don't like you.
Right. Leave
Yeah,
me. I
that's
done
what
run
it
into
is,
that.
man. We just finding out who we are.
Man, that's what blows my mind with so many people holding so many secrets, man. You know, like, it's sad how many families and brothers and sisters who might be intimately dealing with each other on accident because they don't know who their people are.
They don't know, right?
You know what I'm saying? On accident.
You gotta keep them secrets.
You know, and you wonder why your kid got these sicknesses or something ain't right with them mentally because y'all too close to each other. You know, and that's why I try to just tell the truth on my own situation now because little do these other people know, bro, y'all ain't doing nothing but damaging the little ones, bro. Y'all damaging the future because y'all stuck in your own ways and don't want people to grow. You know, or you don't want to grow yourself, you know. But once again, man, I'm grateful that I did see what I saw when I was over there because I feel like that gave me the strength to deal with a lot of what I'm dealing with now firsthand because it always sits in the back of my mind. Like, I don't even have dreams unless I feel like something necessary needs to be shown to me because that is always there, you know, that
when
vision.
you done peep down into the gates of hell,
right,
and you see the torment and the agony that is there,
yes,
and you get to escape it, man, you don't want no part of that.
None. And like me being me, bro.
Just don't know. This thing is real.
It is extremely real because I honestly, like, I was never no bad kid like that. I mean, we always mischievous in our own little ways. But, like, I was never no little real trouble starter or trying to do nothing real devious. But after that motorcycle accident, man, that made me straighten up and fly right without even having to try to say straighten up and fly right. Because I see what's coming. I see what's out there, bro. Like, that's a possibility.
That's it. You
know what I'm saying? I
got
got a glimpse of what's, like, well, when you see what's around that corner, bro, you ain't see that? Bro, I see some stuff, you know, and being that I saw that, it was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just do my best to try to do right by everybody around me and try to keep my nose clean because, bro, y'all don't even know, bro. Y'all ain't see what I see.
You don't want to end up there.
You know, ain't see what I, because I saw it.
What'd you say? I saw people's body being ripped apart.
Come back together.
They could be
ripped apart again, sawn into pieces. You know what I'm saying? Being treated like pets. You know what I'm saying?
You can imagine every degrading thing that can be done to a human being will be done. And it's going to be great suffering, weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Man, it just give me chills just talking and thinking about it right now, bro. Like, I'm telling you, it was so vivid. Like I said, I just remember seeing that ruby red light and just looking down into the ground. And I'm seeing people, you know what I'm saying, screaming, agonizing. And you fire, brimstone. Like, I'm seeing that, but I'm seeing, like, it's like this big tunnel of just agony going straight down into the ground. And I just remember looking into it and was like, what in the world? Like, and just turning around once I saw whatever saw me made that noise, I was out. You know what I'm saying? I was out. That's all I remember is trying to get away. And then after all these other... It was like, after I saw it, I was like, whoa, time to go. And I just remember start running, you know? Break out, bro. And people know me, bro. I used to be real fast with these legs, bro. Like, I used to always be racing and once upon a time, I was going to be a wide receiver or some type of runner. Like, that was me. But as I said, like, in that moment, I didn't know that I was on the other side of the veil. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like I was trying to go home. You know, like I said, it just felt like I was going home. But I wasn't trying to go home. I guess I was going to go home, and I started thinking, and after doing research, I feel like my version of heaven at that time would have been me raising my family. Because that's what was on my mind. That's what was on my heart. You know, me taking care of my family. And I just remember being on that bike. And And as I'm riding that 900 down Old Orangeburg Road, and I cut that corner by that, now it's a Parker's or something. It done changed like gas station 4 times. But Boone West Apartments still there. And I remember turning in that complex and just pulling onto that sidewalk like I usually do to park my bike by my front door. And just couldn't open my door. And then next thing I know, I was like, no, bro, like this can't be it. It can't be it. It felt like that was it, bro.
Like you laying there literally on the ground between life and death. But your spirit man carried on with what your physical man was trying to do.
Trying to do, yeah.
Right, you going home. So you, in that other realm of time, you actually went home. But then the veil was pulled back, and you was able to peep into what happened after death. Yeah, being pursued, that metal thing that was rolling, it would have slapped you up in a million pieces.
That part.
Right, they looking for you.
Right, because when I tell you, I still remember the ringing of them wheels on the ground, just sound like metal, just ring. And I just remember hearing it. And then, like I said, when it came back, this big shadow monster just flipped the whole trailer. And it was just about to get me. Like, it was about the size of a 2-story building, about to cave in on me. And then all of a sudden, it just turned into smoke. And then it's like this light gray light that's outside. And I'm like, wow. You know, like, that's different. You know, like, that's the only thing I can say is it's only God, bro. It's only God. You know?
Talking about being a testimony.
Yeah.
A living testimony.
Yeah. And like the few who I have shared this, you know what I'm saying, experience with, it's like it's enlightening for them. It does help them understand like there is something else. Some people still feel like, hey, maybe he's telling the truth, maybe he not. But most people who I tell it to, they be like, yeah, bro, you seen some stuff. I can tell just the way you talking it, like it sound passionate. But it's the truth, bro. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's the truth.
Right. It was reality.
It was reality on so many levels. And it's not to mention, I got the scars to prove it. You know?
Yeah, somebody could blow it off as you were just hallucinating.
Hallucinating the point. No, far
from it. A lot
from
of
it.
people, when they have near-death experiences, they come back and tell you that they went somewhere.
That part. And
So
I can
why
vouch
is
for it.
everybody having near-death experiences able to come back and tell you they actually seen Jesus, or you know, they seen the gates of hell, and they was coming at them, and they was in the dark, and then they saw the light, and they came to the light, and they get told it ain't your time.
Right. And as like I said, just interpreting my own situation, it seemed like everybody had a different version, you know, of what they would have seen on the other side. Most people, when they see heaven, or they see angels, or they see Jesus, most of the time, in some type of way, shape, or form, they're told it's not your time. You know, like I remember him saying, "It's not your time," and then like click, it's like I'm somewhere else. You know. But I still remember it like very vividly. And that's why when I came back and them doctors was like, well, sir, you're only going to be able to walk, you know, maybe about a year or two. I was like, I'm not about to sit here and listen to nothing y'all saying. You ain't know who I just had to talk with. And he tell me I ain't done yet. So, yeah, I got to get back on these feet, you know. But once again, like, with all of the crazy stuff that's been happening in my world since that accident, that experience is, I feel like, truly is what prepared me to be mentally stable enough to be, you know what I'm saying, in this fight. Because anybody I tell my true story about the baby mama drama and my mama drama and my son and all of that, most people be like, well, I would have been done crash out, boy. I would have been done in jail. Well, you better than me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Until, you know what I'm saying, you in a position like that, you don't know how you going to have to react or how you going to have to try to keep your sanity and not react on these people because you know they trying to get you to look crazy or look wild so they can, ooh, I tell you he was wild, or I tell you something wrong with him, just so they can be able to point the finger at you, you know?
Exactly. And you know something, man, I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all, can't talk for the white man, but almost every black man alive go through similar situations with baby mama trouble.
Yeah, I seen it, but I can't speak for some of the Caucasian ones too, because one literally just been in my chair telling me the same situation of somebody not trying to hide their hand, so he can't verify the fact that he see what he see in that person's phone. And it's like, wow, bro.
Yeah, it's always is, and it's all really, I tell you the truth, and what it boils down to, money.
Yes.
That's what it boils down to.
I feel like
I got the baby, and you gonna pay me.
if it ain't money, I feel like the next thing best of money is notoriety. They want people to feel like they a certain place in society when they not. You know, that notoriety of, oh, you need to look at me like this, or the world around me need to see me like that. And it's like, bro, you ain't nowhere near what you out here trying to perpetrate yourself to be. So stop it. You know? But like, let me close my.
Here's the key that I got.
It's Lonnie.
What it is, a man that wants to be a real father and every other word with his own friend, he always gets the woman that want to keep weaponize that child.
Right.
So he can't be around.
Right.
Always, without fail.
Hey,
And
man.
for the guy that's out there gunslinging and don't give a rat's tail.
Right. Them be the ones.
Be throwing new babies at
Man.
you anytime you want.
Man.
Anytime you want. Ain't no problem.
And you know.
He be like, I don't want you talking about.
Right. And they cut them every corner, every piece of slack and something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the one who trying to do the right thing, they got the opposite.
They're the ones that get penalized and get the women that be like, you ain't gonna never see him.
You ain't see it. You see him when I say you see him. When I say you see him. Believe me.
When you get a standard order visitation, they done took them off and hid them somewhere. You go get them, she ain't home, the kid ain't there, everybody gone.
For real.
They hiding them out. They stick them here and there, and you be running around with my stand. Y'all only got 2.5 days. Where they at?
Man,
they done left town.
Yeah, you saying?
Oh, yeah, it get up, man. I've been seeing this down through decades.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy. And it's the same playbook. It's the same playbook, man.
Yeah. And it's always the guy that don't give a rat's tail. Them women be throwing them kids at him. You can get them anytime, day or night. It'd be 2 o'clock in the morning. You want? Okay. Yeah. You wake me up out of dead sleep and wake them up. You can take them.
Right.
Go ahead.
But the one that's trying.
It's like the caring father that really want to be a father, that want to raise them up and give them some insight on godliness and play ball with you, have memories, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Right. You ain't getting it.
Right.
It's a fight.
Yeah. And that's why I'm grateful I saw what I saw to prepare me for it. Because I honestly feel like it's been times where I was about to let it all go. And, you know, fortunately, people like yourself and a few others who really was like, man, it's Chubb, listen, they ain't worth it, bro. Just focus on this or do it like that. Do it like this or do it like that. You know?
Right.
But stay close to yourself.
That's what it's designed to drive you out of your mind and make you do some heinous, crazy stuff.
Right.
And then the kids ain't going to like you no way because you locked up and she dead.
That part. Now everybody's suffering, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The children really suffering now because they be like, we ain't got no mother.
Right.
Because our daddy children.
Right.
And we ain't got no daddy either because he locked up for life.
Not knowing
out there.
your mama done did some extra crazy stuff to provoke your daddy so many times over to get him to crash out. Light, right. It never comes to the light.
Never come to light. And in my counseling couples, when a woman come to me and say, well, he did this and he did that, these are the exact words verbatim that I say. Well, pray tell, what did you do to to deserve that.
Right.
Then the room gets quiet.
Right.
They always tell what his reaction was.
But he ain't tell what you did.
They verbalize what led up to that.
That part. Man.
Never.
Man.
Never.
And that's why,
I lived
like,
through it. I've been there.
I'm going to actually talk about that. I feel like after I let this next recording play next Sunday, I'm going to tell the exact way all of this played out, because everything you just described is literally what happened to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same playbook,
And
man.
it's, like I said, just like you said, the same playbook. Same playbook.
Yeah, it don't change. And we as men, we don't always take the time to sit down and share mindsets with one another.
Right.
You know, because we got that macho, I'm a man. I can handle my own.
Right.
I don't need nobody telling me how to run my show.
Right.
I got this. But no, we need help. First and foremost, we need the Lord.
Man.
You know, and then secondly, you know, you need to be made aware of the scheme. Because don't you think for 1 minute that woman ain't got another woman in her ear saying, this is what you do. And she listening and she's throwing it out there.
This what you do, this how you do it.
Yeah,
this what you do and this how you do it. This what you doing. So-and-so told me, or this person say to me, do it like this, or do it like that. Man, I done heard that, seen that, and know when it was some bull. And they sitting there just using that as a mask to their own actions. You know?
Right.
Like I said, I've seen it, I've lived through it. I was the child in the middle of it. I was the daddy on the other end of it. So it's like, man, I know this playbook in and out. That's why when my situation started, right, I done lived through it, man. On both ends, I was the kid in the middle with my mama playing manipulation, and the daddy on the other side with my mama still playing manipulation because she being greedy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. Like, not too many people know how to navigate that, bro. And that's why I feel like it's been best for me to start sharing my story on that level, you know? Because a lot of people get caught up, or they end up in jail behind something they ain't even had to act to. But it's all because, you know, the woman in most cases. So, and don't get me wrong, you got some petty dudes out here who be doing some slick stuff. But this message ain't for the petty dudes or the petty baby mamas. It's for the people who genuinely be trying to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to be aware of your surroundings. Try your best to separate yourself from these negative people and record them in their natural behavior. That way, whenever these people start lying and pointing fingers, you got actual factual stuff. Or if you got to have a meeting with them where there's always cameras, you know, always do that. That part, because if not, it's always going to be your word against theirs. You know what I'm saying?
And so that's why my son did what he did. As far as knowing I'm only 3 hours away, and like I said, if that was some of them other motorcycle club members or whatever here, he'd been, man, where you at? I'm coming get you. Right. I know he would.
Right.
I know he would.
That
but
right
that
there.
mess that Mama did is in there.
Right.
Even though consciously you know she was rotten and wrong.
That part.
But she implanted a device in your head that you can't get around.
That
even
part.
though you know it ain't right. You
That
try
part.
to.
That
but
part.
it's something holding you back.
That part. I don't know what it is.
It's like spiritual warfare.
It is. It is. And with speaking of that spiritual warfare, I'm going to end this live right here, and we're going to get deeper with our conversation now. But till next time on Chubb Fly, Blue Sky, Chubb the Artist, Chubb Rap, Chubb Inks, that boy Chubb the Artist. Till next time, y'all.
Yeah.